Afternoon and welcome to this special edition of Grey Areas. We're used to having a whole heap of fun and just absolutely poking shit at each other, but today things are a bit more serious. It's time for the box draw for the two main events this Saturday night, which is week one of the Australian Cup Carnival at the Meadows, being the Temlee, the Zoom Top. My name's Jason Adams. I'm joined by the face and voice of the Meadows in Corey Smith. And Smithy, it's been a long build-up, I'm sure, a lot of conversation around what these fields looks like. They've been announced, and of course now the box draw is about to take place.
I'm thankful that I wasn't on the selection panel, to be honest,
you?
Patch. I appreciate it when it comes around to this because it's a tough year to try and pull apart. There's probably a few no-brainers in each of the two races, but outside of that, there is just depth and more depth. So we'll see how we go. I'm sure there'll be plenty of controversy, plenty of people having a chat about it. We put the fields out a couple of hours ago, but the box draw, that's what we're here for, and that's what's most important.
Indeed. So the first of them that we're going to be going through is the Group 1 Temlee. Now, if you can read me through the field of which was announced about a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, so we had Kanya Mayhem, this is in alphabetical order, Kanya Mayhem, Dashing Slay, Dacey's Rory, Deadly Avenger, Mapunga Award, Sharapova Star, Slick Splits and Tim Zoo. The first reserve will be Vista Weird and the second reserve will be Poor Oswald. So chock full of talent is the Temlee.
Yep, indeed it is. All right, so we've got Paul Searle here, the Chief Steward, to maintain all the integrity in this box draw process. Are we ready to get underway?
Well, I'll just run through the process because not everyone's seen a banjo before, Patch, but we do have the banjo. There's two sides. One has numbers, one has colours. The numbers is this reorder, and then the colours are the box that these dogs will jump out of. So the reorder is here. Dacey's Rory 1, Dashing Slay 2, Kanya Mayhem 3, Slick Splits 4, Mapunga Award 5, Sharapova Star 6, Tim Zoo 7 and Deadly Avenger 8. So that number will correspond with a colour. The colour is what they will jump out of on Saturday night.
Indeed. Now, we've seen some dramas in box draws across Australia over the past year. Let's hope today isn't the next chapter of that. Paul Searle, let's get things underway. Okay, there we go. So the all-important draw. I'm sure, Smith, in the whole communications when you speak to these connections, they're always saying, oh, can you get us the red as well? All that sort of stuff, but of course only one.
Kanya Mayhem goes into box number 1. So I'm imagining you'll be right at the pointy end of the market after drawing the 1.
Okay, 6 to 8. Sharapova Star into 8.
Sharapova Star is going to be carving across with electric early speed.
Do you reckon Tina Woman will be happy with that draw?
I don't think the draw matters too much for Sharapova Star with her early speed.
Dacey's Rory 5.
Dacey's Rory 5. Now, he had a pretty dodgy draw in the Phoenix, didn't he, as well?
That's all he gets, is dodgy draws, Dacey's Rory, in these big ones, but he's just such a grand campaigner.
Dashing Slay 7.
So Dashing Slay, first up since the Melbourne Cup, goes into box number 7. Middle to wide draws are her go, so probably not the ideal draw, but probably not the worst either.
Slick Split box 4.
Slick Split's hard to say, but he is a very, very good dog. And I think he won the Top Gun from box 4 from memory.
Yeah, he was drawn well. He went in there as a reserve, of course.
Yes.
And that is where he wants to be. So I'm sure Jason Lyon and Nick Major will be very happy with that.
Deadly Avenger 6.
Deadly Avenger box 6. That's the
Deja
Phoenix
vu.
winning box.
Deja vu.
Should get a little bit of room from Dashing Slay, but Sharapova Star, you probably want to avoid her early.
There's the draw as it stands at the moment. 2 more to come.
Tim Zoo 3.
Tim Zoo, box number 3. Did it from a wide draw last year, winning this exact race. Be interesting to see where he lobs in the run.
And Mapunga Award 2.
Well, Mapunga Award goes in the box 2. Of course, the same draw of which he made his return to the Meadows just a couple of weeks ago and absolutely cut loose in doing so. So there it is, Smithy, from the inside out. Kenya Mayhem 1, Mapunga Award 2, Tim Zoo 3, Slick Splits 4, Dacey's Rory 5, Deadly Avengers 6, Dashing Slay 7, Sharapova Star 8. Your first impression on that?
Kanya Mayhem's a big winner from the draw. Slow beginners on his outside in 2 and 3, and Slick Splits, who's going to use plenty of the track. Well, not used plenty of the track, but run a pretty straight line. So I think if he can get out like he did in his Gold Bullion heat, he looks hard to beat, Kanya Mayhem, but it's chock full of quality and it's greyhound racing. You never know what can happen. And that outside brigade with Dashing Slay, Sharapova Star, they've got plenty of early speed. So if they can get across, look out.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, Kenya Mayhem, the sports latest millionaire after taking out the Gold Bullion last Thursday night at Q2 Parklands. And for the experience of which he has under his belt, who knows what's possible for the remainder of 2026. All right, it's time now to move on to the box draw for the Group 1 Zoom Top. Now, we always speak about it in this caper about the fluctuating depth of the staying ranks. And when I saw the field earlier this morning, I sort of felt that's a good field. From what we've got available in terms of the best days across Australia at the moment, it's a pretty good bunch.
Yeah, it's certainly a solid field. I won't say it's the best Zoom Top that I've ever seen, but it's certainly on the better end of them, particularly at that pointy end. You see Without a Trace in any race and you go, well, this is going to be exciting because you just want to watch her strut her stuff. And she got beaten by Fade to Black last week up at the Gold Cup up in Brisbane. So she's no moral or certainty, but she is an absolute rocket ship.
Yep, indeed. And as well, they're up against Magpie Hector, who didn't finish in that feature, but geez, he can run like the wind as well. And of course, Without a Trace has done the damage at the Meadows late last year throughout the Dream at Chasers Festival. Paul Searle, let's get this one underway.
We'll go the random
order. All right,
we'll go the random.
Finally learn not to make that mistake in the next box draw.
So Mapungalara 1, Magpie Hector 2, Aiden's Warrior 3, Light of Mine 4, Fade to Black 5, Ballet Ethel 6, Without a Trace 7, Late Night News 8. Just a reminder, that is not the boxes they'll jump out of. That is the numbers on one side of the balls. The colours are the ones that they will jump out of. So Paul will give this a nice big shake for us. And we'll get this going.
Generally in the stays, draws are less important with the lot we've got in front of us this Saturday night. Do you sense the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of these are probably dogs that don't necessarily have to lead to win.
Paul?
Fade to Black 8.
Fade to Black, the Gold Cup winner, goes into box number 8. He's been in such good form, you can never discount him, but box 8, probably not ideal.
Bel Air Ethel 3.
BP probably be pretty happy with that.
I'd be taking it.
They would have had one wish, and that was draw the inside.
Aiden's Warrior 4.
Aiden's Warrior, box number 4, coming back down from Sydney after spending a successful period down here in Victoria late last year.
Yep, indeed.
Light of Mine 1.
Light of Mine, number 1. So Jay will be nice and happy coming down from New South Wales, and that probably brings her right into the race. She should be able to settle pretty prominently.
Magpie Hector 7.
Typical Jack Smith sort of runner where he generally gets back and,
you know
and
what?
runs
He doesn't
on.
give a rat's clacker either.
He doesn't. He's all right. He'll be happy. He's just in the race.
Mapungalara 5.
Pungalara, box number 5. Probably not an ideal setup, but maybe she can follow Aiden's Warrior through and get herself into a good spot.
Late Night News 6.
Late Night News, another backmarker patch.
Yes, and he's sort of hard to predict when he's going to reach the peak of his powers, but we have seen a couple of times when he goes to the Meadows, generally produces his finest work.
That leaves 1 for us.
Without a Trace 2.
Without a Trace goes into box number 2, and immediately the two favourites, the Temlee and the Zoom Top favourites in Canyon Mayhem and Without a Trace, look like they've drawn pretty handily.
Yeah, indeed. So Light of Mine 1, Without a Trace 2, Bel Air Ethel 3, Aiden's Warrior 4, Mapungalara 5, Late Night News 6, Magpie Hector 7, Fade to Black 8. So, look, on first impression, Smithy would probably expect Without a Trace to start the favourite, given the form of which she's carried into this series over the past 6 months. But aside from that, I mean, Fade to Black, you can't forget what he did last week. He beat her fair and square, so it's going to be really interesting to see what sort of price he opens up.
Well, initial thoughts was Fade to Black probably didn't have the kindest draw, but you got Magpie Hector, Late Night News, who aren't exactly known for their speed, as is Mapungalara, really. So there's not a huge amount of speed drawn underneath him, and he just has hit form at the right time. He was a dog that was making these feature finals and running well in them, but he just went to a whole nother level, breaking the track record at the Q2 over the 700. So if he can bring that sort of form, then he's going to be sitting probably outside Without a Trace in the early stages, and then it is game on.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, this is the second year of the new format.
Third year.
Cup Carnival. Third year. So just repeat to everyone what the format is, because historically we had those 3 Group 1s on the first night, but this time around we've obviously got Australian Cup heats this Saturday night. So how does it all fall into play? How do the cards fall in terms of these Temlee finalists as well?
Yeah, so there'll be 8 heats of the Australian Cup. We've got enough nominations for that, which is good. And then essentially the 9th heat is the Temlee. So the Temlee dogs will go straight into the semi-finals. They basically get an exemption, a little walk-through to go through. So they can try and win the $75,000 first prize in week 1. but then they get to go straight through to the semi-finals, where the top 3 from all 8 heats will be waiting for them, and that is going to be box office. We saw it last year, particularly last year, the Australian Cup field that was compiled was unbelievable. So hopefully that happens again, and hopefully it keeps backing up the fact that we changed these conditions, and it was a positive move.
Yeah, and then the Rookie Rebel in the last week as well,
Exactly.
which would be an absolute cracker, as it always is. What can people look forward to if they are getting along to the Meadows this Saturday night?
If they're coming along, there's plenty of action to be had. We've got $5 schooners all night, Patch. So I'm a little bit disappointed that unfortunately I'm working as well. But out on the deck, $5 schooners all night. We've got our happy hours upstairs, downstairs, all that sort of stuff. But have a look at our website, melbournegreyhounds.org.au, because that is where you will find all the information. Week 1, we're honing in on the barbecue. We've got upstairs dining, all that sort of stuff. Week 2 is the kids' night. And then week 3 is obviously the big one, where we've got a club shout event as well. So there'll be plenty of community clubs out there vying for a few, we'll call them donations to their clubs, and they'll be having a good night out on course as well.
And what is unusual, but also a luxury, Fields this whole meeting will be out this afternoon?
They will be. So the grading team are doing a good job, where they're getting it out this afternoon, getting it out nice and early, and hopefully we'll get some markets up in the not too distant future as well, and we'll be able to hopefully promote that all week, because these heats are going to be red hot as well. Plenty of depth, Patch.
Plenty of depth. You're not wrong. We done? That's it?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. All right. So big week ahead as we build up to Saturday night, week 1 of the Sportsbet Australian Cup Carnival. As Smithy mentioned, Fields will be out this afternoon. Live broadcast on track this Saturday night as well. Whether you tune in on Sky 1, Sky Racing Active, or indeed the Watchdog app, we'll have every angle covered with myself, Michael Ty, and Nathan Rooney. Until then, get the form done.